What if fuel prices were to go up to $5, $6, or even $7 a gallon? Today's March 2nd, 2026, and we are in war with Iran. I woke up to the news just like a lot of you guys did on Saturday morning, saying that we've bombed Iran. We're now in a conflict in conjunction with Israel, and we're bombing Iran, and Iran is retaliating, bombing all these other countries in the region as well. Would your business be able to survive an increase in fuel due to an event such as this, right? Let's say 3 months from now, 6 months from now. That's a huge chunk of our profit margins that go to fuel already as it is. And for it to go up 10, 20, 30%, maybe even 50%, would your business be able to survive? Today, we're going to talk about what we need to do right now, today, this week, in order to get ourselves ready for a conflict that may take a lot longer than 2 weeks. The last time the government told us something was going to take 2 weeks, it was 6 years ago during COVID when they say it was going to take 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And we all know how long it took for them to flatten that curve, right? It took at least a couple of years. So we have to prepare now. I got a lot of messages, a lot of text messages, phone calls over the weekend from people asking me, like, what do we do? I felt like I needed to create this video today, drop it today, let you guys all know like what we have to do. This isn't the first time we've been to war. It's not going to be the last time we've been to war, right? But it's about how we react to that kind of conflict or that kind of issue that will determine whether our business is going to survive or not, whether our business may even thrive in this kind of economy or not, right? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's get into a deep dive on what we need to do hopefully this week in order to be able to sustain and see this all the way through to the other side. Before we get into the 10 moves, let's go ahead and ground this a little bit in reality. This conflict is already affecting energy markets globally. Oil and gas have reacted immediately. Shipping routes near the Strait of Hormuz are under pressure. That matters because energy markets move fast and they move first. And here's the simple truth. When fuel becomes volatile, your cost per haul also becomes volatile, unless your pricing system adjusts with it. Fuel surcharges are not controversial. A lot of people like to think, they shouldn't add fuel charges or fuel surcharges to their pricing. They are standard practice in lots of trucking and logistics for one reason. They prevent fuel swings from destroying our margins. Now, here's a part that you actually care about. How do you not just survive this, but come out sharper, leaner, and more profitable? Let's walk through the 10 moves that serious operators need to make when volatility hits. Okay, number 1, install a fuel surcharge immediately. If you do nothing else after watching this video, at least do this. Right now, most small business dumpster operators absorb fuel swings emotionally. Diesel goes up 10, 20, or even 50 cents, and they hope it all settles down and evens out at the end. That's not going to work. Hope is not a pricing strategy. You need a system. You need to set a baseline diesel price in your pricing, whatever number makes sense for you in your market. If diesel goes above that baseline, your fuel surcharge activates automatically. It's not personal. It's just strictly math. Get your emotions out of your business and run your business the way that it should be ran, based on the data and based off of profit margins. Adjust weekly if you want to stay tight, or monthly if you want simplicity, but either way, it should be automatic and it must be visible on every quote and every single invoice. This does 2 different things for you. First of all, it protects your margin immediately. Second, it trains your customers that you operate like a professional carrier, not a guy winging it or a guy doing a side hustle or just winging it. Stop gambling on fuel. Install the mechanism. Number 2, raise your base prices on all new orders moving forward. A fuel surcharge protects volatility. It does not protect inflation. Insurance goes up. Parts are going to go up. Labor is going up. Landfill fees are not getting any cheaper. They are also going to feel the hit, and their prices are going to go up as well. If you rely only on a surcharge, you're plugging in one hole while water leaks in from 5 different other ones. This is why you raise base prices now, calmly, strategically, and early. The market forgives early movers. It punishes late panickers. If you wait until you're squeezed, you're going to overcorrect, and that's when customers start pushing back. Small, controlled increases now are far easier than dramatic increases later. If you believe your service is worth it, price it accordingly. Number 3, conduct a full wartime expense purge. I want you to open your bank statements and your credit card statements and go line by line. Subscriptions, apps, duplicate software, unused storage. If you guys are like me, you've got a ton of apps and a ton of streaming services you don't need. Equipment that you don't use, get rid of it, sell it off. Random marketing experiments, tools that you signed up for that you forgot about, if it does not directly create revenue for you right now in this moment, protect your revenue or save meaningful labor hours. It is on trial. This is not about fear. I'm not trying to fear monger you guys. It's about focus on your profit margins, focusing on your business, putting number one, right? When volatility hits, disciplined operators get lean. Comfort spending disappears. You'd be shocked how many owners can trim thousands per month just by cleaning up laziness. I'm just like you guys. I've got credit card bills. I've got credit card debts. I go in there and I have to really line by line, cross things off that really aren't important, cross things off that I can do without, because we've really got to trim that. That's margin that you can protect immediately. And margin at the end of the day increases your profit at the end of the year. So number 4, compress your software stack. Most owners are paying multiple systems that just overlap. Scheduling here, CRM there, dispatching, contract signing on another one, review platforms on another one, dispatching on something else, invoicing somewhere else, spreadsheets floating around. That chaos costs time and money. In volatile markets, simplicity is power. The fewer systems that you have, the fewer mistakes that you're going to make, and the fewer subscriptions that you pay for, the fewer hours your office wastes bouncing between different tools. If you can consolidate into one platform that handles scheduling, dispatch, reporting, billing, do it. This is where smarter software matters. If you want something simpler and cheaper that tracks dumpsters, handles dispatch, and gives you reporting visibility, give a try to iCans. 2 weeks free trial, 20% off your first 5 months with my link. It's going to be down below. Volatility is a perfect time to simplify your operations. Number 5, tighten dispatch and routing like diesel is $6 a gallon, because one day it just possibly might be. Deadhead miles are silent profit killers. You need zone batching, dedicated service days by area. If your coverage area is really big, let's start pulling back. I might be doing this myself. Further north in DFW, I might just be delivering on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Further south is going to be Mondays and Wednesdays. Confirmed drop-off and pickup windows. Fewer last minute, can you just swing by requests? Because those kill profit. Every unnecessary mile right now is going to cost you more money out of your pocket. Routing discipline is the easiest raise that you're going to ever give yourself, and it doesn't require asking a customer anything extra at all. Number 6, shorten your cash conversion cycle. What the hell does that mean?
What the
Cash
hell
flow
is even
is
that?
everything. Cash flow is oxygen. During stable markets, you can survive with sloppy collections, but during volatile markets, you cannot. Required deposits on all your dumpsters, or all of them actually, should be paid up front. For any contractors, you should probably tighten your terms where you can. If you can do a net 7 or even a net 10, that's a hell of a lot better than a net 30 or net 45. I personally won't do anything above a net 30. I don't care who you are, what government contract you're with, who you do business with. I don't care. If it's more than net 30, I'm not taking on that job. Credit cards on file for every single job. Automate your billing, and in certain environments, slow paying customers are not just annoying, they are risky to your operation. You are not here to finance somebody else's project. It does not say Wells Fargo on the outside of my building. It says American AF Dumpsters. They do not dictate to me how I run my business, and your customers should not dictate to you how you run yours. You are here to operate a stable, long-term business. If they are having cash flow problems, they are going to reflect those cash flow problems and pass those cash flow problems on to you. Don't let it happen. Number 7, renegotiate landfill and transfer station terms. A lot of you guys don't know that you can do this. Call up your landfill. Call up whatever company that you're doing you're running your landfill tickets through, and ask them, can we renegotiate? I am dumping a lot more tonnage per week, per month, per year than I was when I first signed up with you guys. Can we renegotiate our rates? How can we bring our costs down a little bit? Most owners never ask. They accept posted rates like as if they're fixed in stone, and they're not. If you bring consistent tonnage, you have leverage. Ask about volume-based rates, ask about rebates, ask about better billing terms, ask about monthly adjustments instead of surprise increases. In volatility, every cost line matters, and believe me, they don't want to lose you either. So try to negotiate with them. Be professional about it. Don't be emotional, but definitely try to renegotiate. On that same token, this is a 7.5 tip. Call your credit card processor. Ask if you can renegotiate your credit card fees. A lot of you guys also don't know that you can do this. But if you're paying 3.2% or whatever, and you've been in business for, let's say, 2, 3, 5 years, you're not as high risk as you were when you first signed up with them. Call them and try to renegotiate your credit card processing fees, I should say. Number 8, sell fewer but better customers. This one might sting a little bit. Some of you are addicted to volume. I'm right there with you guys. I want to say yes to every single customer. I do not. I feel like I am not at the point to be turning business away. But not all volume is good volume. Identify the accounts that constantly reschedule, require long drives to and from, or lots of deadhead, or even they don't respect your dry runs. They push your overweight limits. They pay late every single month. They call excessively, tie up your office staff. Those customers cost you more money than they generate you. Free up your schedule for margin killers and replace them with disciplined accounts. Because at the end of the day, not all good customers are good customers. Profit is not about being busy. It's about being paid properly for productive work. Remember, we are running a business. This is not a charity. Number 9, lock your maintenance and parts into a proactive plan. Supply chains tighten during these conflicts. Parts get slower, prices go way up. Identify common failure points on your trucks and trailers. If you need to carry more things in stock, if you have the opportunity, the warehouse type of deal, if you have the space to store stuff, pick up some hydraulic hoses, pick up some fittings, pick up some extra tires, extra parts, electrical connectors, sensors, any kind of tires that you're replacing or that you're approaching replacement, pick those up now, because more than likely prices will go up. Within reason, of course. Secure what you know that you're going to need. Oil, DEF fluid, whatever you can store it now. Schedule preventative maintenance before breakdowns happen. Downtime in volatile markets is far more painful than carrying smart inventory. Preparation always beats reaction. Number 10, communicate price changes with confidence. Don't apologize for protecting your business. Customers don't need drama. They need clarity. They need some understanding. Fuel volatility is real. Markets are currently reacting. Today is Monday. Again, it's still Monday, and the prices have already gone up anywhere from, I think I saw 7 to 10%. This is what you can say. Here's what you need to tell your customers. Hey guys, quick heads up, because fuel prices are moving fast right now. We're adding a fuel surcharge to all deliveries and pickups starting immediately. This keeps our service reliable and prevents sudden random price jumps. You'll still get the same fast delivery, same professional drivers, same clean equipment. This just protects the cost of hauling when diesel swings. If fuel comes down, the surcharge comes down with it. Make it short, make it clear, make it professional. Confidence eliminates most pushback. We'll put that script in the description below for you as well, so you can just copy it and paste it. Guys, here's the bottom line. Volatility does not destroy good business. Weak systems do. Unprepared business owners destroy small business. Get your emotions out of it. If you install the pricing mechanisms, tighten expenses, improve routing, collect faster, and negotiate smarter, you don't just survive this. You separate yourself from your competitors who freeze. And when this stabilizes, and it will eventually, you'll be leaner, more disciplined, and more profitable, hopefully, than you ever were before it even started. That's how you operate in a wartime mode. Not with fear, but with structure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.